Right before we got into the video, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my friend Alex. Now, Alex is someone that I know personally, and we share something in common in that we have an immense love for film. Now, Alex is actually doing something that I haven't been given the ability to do yet, and that is actually create a short film. His short film is called Uber and has a really interesting premise about an Uber driver who actually picks up some people who just took place in a robbery. It's very interesting, it's very intense, and right now what he's trying to do is he's trying to get his short film funded so that he can film it and get it made. Right now, they have about $330 donated on their GoFundMe with a goal of $1,500. Now, I can never sit here and tell you guys that you have to go donate money, but I can ask you to help out my friend, donate to his cause, try and help him live the dream and make a short film. The links for all the stuff is going to be in the description box below, and if you'd like to donate, you can do so. With that said, enjoy the video. Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose XBL bringing you another Suicide Squad video, and today what we're going to be talking about is the Easter eggs and things that you might have missed in Suicide Squad. Now, it goes without saying that this entire video is going to feature some spoilers for Suicide Squad, so if you haven't seen the film just yet, I highly suggest clicking off this video, going out, watching the movie, and then coming back to see some Easter eggs and possibly some things that you might have missed on your viewing of the film. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, Suicide Squad opens with a bunch of Easter eggs right off the bat with the character intros in the film. The one that's most notable right in these character intros is Deadshot. Now, when we see Deadshot, we get this nice little graphic of Deadshot with a bunch of bullets raining down, and we see his name, we see all these people that he's assassinated, but what's interesting is the pose that Deadshot is in is actually a recreation of the artwork that you're seeing on screen right now. It is pretty much a one-to-one recreation. I don't know the name of the artist who drew this, but I do know this is a very famous piece of artwork when you're thinking of the character of Deadshot. In fact, if you Google Deadshot, you're probably going to end up seeing this artwork show up. Granted, now it's probably filled with a bunch of pictures of Deadshot and Suicide Squad, but before we saw what Deadshot looked like in Suicide Squad, this is the artwork that you would have seen. Now, next up in these character intros, it's interesting to note that when we get to Harley Quinn, her documents actually say that she was an accomplice in the death of Robin. That's right, so Harley Quinn was around when they killed Jason Todd, which is very, very interesting. I'm so glad that they threw in that little side note. I'm really hoping that when Ben Affleck directs the solo Batman film, that he adapts the Under the Red Hood storyline. It's either that or this whole Arkham Asylum movie rumor. But if he adapts the Under the Red Hood storyline, it's going to be so cool to see Joker and Harley Quinn return in their roles for that film. But yeah, so it says on her documents that she actually was an accomplice in the murder of Robin. Now, they again don't specify which Robin it is. I really wish that they would, but they haven't just yet. Hopefully sometime soon we will get that clarification. But also in her character intro, we actually get to see what is probably my favorite shot in Suicide Squad, and that is the Joker and Harley Quinn recreating that famous Alex Ross artwork of the characters, where Harley Quinn is wearing her classic jester outfit and the Joker is wearing his tuxedo. So this is a complete recreation of that shot, and we actually see Harley Quinn in her completely classic outfit. She has the mask, she has the jester outfit and everything. It's amazing. It's pure fan service, and I bow down to David Ayer for doing that. It is such an awesome moment in the film. Continuing with the character intros, when we're introduced to the character of Captain Boomerang, as he's famously called, as we thought that he was originally just going to be called Boomerang. Well, no, not the case. They actually do call him Captain Boomerang in this film, but during his character introduction, we actually see a cameo from none other than his notorious nemesis, the Flash. That's right, the Flash shows up in Suicide Squad, and funnily enough, this scene was actually directed by Zack Snyder. Now, not the entire scene as a whole, but just the Flash showing up was directed by Zack Snyder. Now, the Flash is not the only Justice Leaguer to actually make an appearance in Suicide Squad. Of course, from what you've seen in the trailers and everything, Batman also makes an appearance in Suicide Squad. He makes multiple appearances, but the first one that's most notable is when he takes down Deadshot. This is again during Deadshot's character introduction when they explain how he was caught, and it's actually found out that Batman is the one to take him down and put him behind bars. Batman is also seen taking down Harley Quinn and putting her away, and he's also mentioned to chase Killer Croc out of Gotham City. So Batman has had pretty much a huge involvement in a lot of the Suicide Squad members, which I think is fantastic. You know, most of them are Batman villains, so it's really cool to see that Batman has had plenty of involvement in taking them down and putting them in Bel Rev. Now, moving on to the Suicide Squad themselves, once they're all put together and they're getting ready to go out and take down the Incubus and Enchantress, we actually see, just like the comics, all the characters getting a little bomb implanted in their necks. So yeah, this is something most famously from the comics. Of course, there needs to be something to allow these criminals to know they can't escape, they have nowhere to go, they have to do what they're told to do, and that is because they have a bomb in their neck, and if they don't obey the rules, they get their head blown up. And we see an example of that made out of Slipknot in the film. Rest in peace, Slipknot. You were the character that everyone was most excited to see. But getting right into the story of Suicide Squad, and this all actually takes place in Midway City. Interestingly enough, Midway City is actually the home of Justice League members Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Now, one of the most special Easter eggs seen in Suicide Squad for me, because of where I live here in Toronto, or the 6 as some of you may know it, where Suicide Squad was actually filmed when they began production, was Yonge Dundas Square. Now, if you don't know, in Toronto, there's this place called Yonge Dundas Square. It's just a nice little area. There's a bunch of stores around it and everything, and it just looks really cool. There's a lot of lights, especially at nighttime. It's kind of like Toronto's Times Square, you know? So they show that in this film. You get a complete shot of Yonge Dundas Square in this film, and I think that's so cool, and it's so special to me because I've walked in this place plenty of times in my life. So it's like I've walked where the Suicide Squad have walked. But moving on to the Joker side of things, there are a few Easter eggs that I caught. One, of course, being that he wears that famous tuxedo from the Alex Ross cover. We see him in that tuxedo once again in the film after he's hijacked that helicopter and tries to take down the squad and get Harley Quinn back. And then we also see that during Harley Quinn's flashback, they are actually in Ace Chemicals. Now, it's pretty much assumed, but when Harleen drops down into that vat of chemicals in a blink and you'll miss it moment, you see the container and it does indeed say Ace Chemicals on it. So that's right, Harleen Quinzel becomes Harley Quinn in Ace Chemicals. It's also worth noting that during that scene, because of the clothing that Joker and Harleen are wearing, Harley Quinn's hair gets dyed that pink and blue. And the last Easter egg that I could notice in the film for the Joker is that he has a henchman named Johnny Frost, and this is of course a henchman that is seen working with the Joker in the comics plenty of times before. And that pretty much concludes the Easter eggs that I could find in Suicide Squad. Maybe I've missed a couple. If I did, let me know them in the comments section below. I'm CaboosXBL. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.